Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
Right now at 6, another homicide under investigation in the capital city.
We call the police, right?
We call the police.
The city's 33rd homicide of the year, causing concerns for neighbors.
I used to be able to go outside my house, able to walk my dog. Now I can't no more. So I'm very nervous at how the gun activity is increasing.
Plus an update on a 2019 homicide.
This has been a long process for us, and this just happened again. It's just kind of like taking a Band-Aid off of a wound that was trying to heal.
What police are saying tonight.
And a bombshell breakup in the sports world. Tom Brady's message to his fans as he takes a loss off the field.
It don't get much more Halloween than this, folks. We're at what's called Paracon. We're previewing it at Mohegan Sun. It's ahead on the Fox 61 News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the News at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. Hartford police are on the hunt for whoever is responsible for allegedly shooting and killing a Hartford man last night on Hillside Avenue.
This is now the 33rd homicide in the city so far, which is more than last year in total. Fox 61's Carmen Chow joining us live outside the Hartford Police Headquarters this evening to break it down. Carmen.
And Jen, police have identified that victim as 23-year-old Manuel Rodriguez of Hartford. His family not yet comfortable speaking to me on camera, but told me through a Facebook message they just want to know who did this.
I just heard like boop, 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 boop.
Tess Samuels has been living on Hillside Avenue since he was born. It was last night around 5:30 when he says he heard the gunshots, shots that made him nervous.
It's quiet, it's nice, nothing really happened like that.
Hartford police first responded to reports of shots fired on Hillside Avenue Thursday night. There they found a car crashed through a fence and into a tree. Investigators later learned the driver, 23-year-old Manuel Rodriguez, was shot in the head and died. A woman who was a passenger had non-life-threatening injuries and was sent to the hospital.
It's always the case. It was a targeted attack. It wasn't a random shooting at citizens.
The woman told police it started with a crash near Flatbush and New Park Avenues, involving the car she was in with Rodriguez and another car. Police say the suspect's car rammed into Rodriguez's car and drove away. Rodriguez then followed the suspect's car into Hillside Avenue, and that's when police say a passenger in the suspect's car got out and shot and killed Rodriguez. It just so happens there is a surveillance camera in that area, something police are using as part of their investigation. Tire tread marks on this sidewalk and lawn visibly noticeable. Bishop John Selders with Moral Monday CT pointing to several factors causing these constant shootings.
We're in an urban environment, and that when it comes to poverty, or what I'm calling this lack of access, is happening all around us.
Now, police did find the suspect's car, but could not tell us where. If you witnessed anything, you're urged to reach out to Hartford Police immediately. I'm live in Hartford. Carmen Chow, Fox 61 News.
Carmen, thank you very much. And as police continue to search for answers, neighbors on Hillside Avenue in Hartford are trying to recover from what they saw and heard on Thursday night. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc speaks with families who are only beginning to process this. Julia.
We call the police, right?
We call the police.
It's been barely 24 hours since Gladys Vasquez and her son Jose heard something they never thought they would.
All of a sudden we heard the shooting.
And then it was like bam boom, bam boom, bam boom.
At first I thought it was firecrackers because I've lived here 14 years. This never happened.
But Gladys soon knew this was different. Her instincts kicked in and she grabbed Jose.
He came running to me from the living room. I went running to him to kind of like hold him back, and we collided and fell on the floor.
Just outside of their home here on Hillside Ave, 23-year-old Manuel Rodriguez of Hartford crashed into this tree and this fence. Police say he was shot right after a hit and run.
Very scary because it sounded so close. I wasn't sure if any of my windows, if we were going to be hit.
Police say it all started with a crash just a few minutes away from Hillside. They say Rodriguez followed the car and then the passenger of that car shot him. Others in the neighborhood heard it too, including Kaylee Morales.
I used to be able to go outside my house, able to walk my dog. Now I can't no more. So I'm very nervous at how the gun activity is increasing.
It's gotten to the point where Kaylee and her father, who was a Hartford police officer, are considering moving.
There's 20 car accidents going on, 20 hit and runs going on over there.
And now, as the neighbors are hurting for the Rodriguez family.
It's horrible. I feel so bad for the family.
They're keeping their loved ones a little closer.
Thank God nothing happened because the kids are normally playing here in the front yard, in the driveway, or in the back.
In Hartford,
Mom.
Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.
Well, new tonight, Waterbury police are investigating a double shooting. It happened just after noon on Knollwood Circle. Police say a 33-year-old man walked into St. Mary's Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A 22-year-old man walked into Waterbury Hospital and is being treated for life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information on the shooting should contact police. Also new tonight, police in Enfield have charged a man with a hate crime. Christopher Oliver allegedly threatened a high school football player who was going door-to-door with his teammates to fundraise back in August. The team's coach told police that Oliver used racial slurs and threatened to shoot the 14-year-old athlete if they didn't leave his property. Oliver's now charged with breach of peace and intimidation based on bigotry or bias.
Well, turning to the weather now, much cooler out there today, and we're all looking at the weekend.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Hi, Rach.
Hi, the weekend is looking warmer, especially Sunday afternoon, and I like how things are trending for Halloween too, which we'll talk more about. Low 50s right now, Hartford and New Haven as the sun is going down, and it should be a beautiful sunset for some areas. There's just the right amount of clouds out there. Frost advisory in effect away from the Connecticut shoreline for tonight. If you have any plants that you want to protect from damage due to the cold, you can cover them with a light blanket, or if they're potted plants, you can bring them inside. Temperatures right now in the upper 40s to low 50s. It's a beautiful day, although I have to say the wind was a bit higher than expected in the morning, at least for me. Calm now, though, so it looks like the wind is not going to be an issue heading into the evening tonight, and not through the weekend either. Low temperatures tonight will be dropping back through the 30s, not only inland, but even at the shoreline as well. An overnight low of 39 for the New Haven area, right around freezing for Meriden and Waterbury, and middle 30s for Windsor Locks. Otherwise, as we head through the day tomorrow, after a frosty start, a nice sunny and seasonable afternoon, highs climbing into the low 60s, and another chilly night ahead for tomorrow night. By Sunday afternoon, highs are climbing into the mid-60s. We'll see increasing clouds for Sunday night, more clouds for Halloween. But what about those shower chances? I mentioned that the forecast is trending better, trending drier. We'll explain coming up.
Rachel, thank you. Following developing news in the sports world tonight, Tom Brady has announced the divorce between his wife of 13 years, Gisele Bündchen, has now been finalized. Brady taking to Instagram this morning saying, in part, quote, "The decision to end a marriage is never easy, but we've grown apart." Both said their priorities lay with their children, and they asked for privacy. The divorce landed in the midst of Brady's 23rd NFL season and amid his first 3-game losing streak in 20 years, just months after the 7-time Super Bowl champion put an end to his short-lived retirement.
Well, Waterbury police have identified the man that was hit and killed while riding a scooter. Police say 31-year-old Jose Mercado was hit by a van on Meriden Road yesterday morning. He was taken to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. The driver of the van was evaluated on the scene. Police are still investigating the incident. And developing news tonight, a wild scene right here, a dangerous crash in Manchester where a car crashed into and through a pharmacy. Take a look at these wild photos shared with Fox 61 by a worker at that pharmacy. The woman says she was just a few feet away from the car that came crashing through the wall of Westtown Pharmacy on Hartford Road on Thursday evening. There are no reports of anyone hurt.
While hospitalizations continue to increase across the country as RSV spreads at its highest rates in more than 25 years, prompting fears of a triple-demic. Fox's Dave Anthony reports from New York.
The respiratory virus known as RSV is still spreading quickly across the country, with healthcare providers in nearly every state reporting major spikes. It's mostly targeting younger people, and hospitalizations are skyrocketing. More than 75% of pediatric hospital beds in the U.S. are now full. And while some doctors say the trends will only get worse as winter approaches, federal health officials claim the virus can be controlled if people return to mitigation efforts like hand washing and social distancing.
We are in control. We have the tools we need to ensure folks have a safe and healthy holiday season.
Another problem, the spike in RSV cases comes at the start of what's expected to be one of the worst flu seasons in years, and just ahead of a possible COVID surge as new variants emerge. With 3 viruses now circulating, doctors say the best way to stay safe is to get your COVID and flu vaccines.
One of the reasons why you might be seeing more hospitalizations is kids or adults are getting co-infections. So if you can take 1 or 2 of them off the table by getting vaccinated, that's a big help.
But anxious parents say that might not be enough protection, and some are considering a return to distance learning until the RSV spike is over.
Of course, that fear still lies in every parent, I believe, but the only thing I can do is just do my best and try to keep them healthy, and just do my part.
The CDC says last week there were about 6,000 new RSV cases reported in the U.S. In New York, Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Well, the former site of the New Haven Coliseum is about to be redeveloped. The closing of the site officially completed yesterday. The Coliseum was located just off of Route 34 connector, was torn down in 2007, and the site has been a parking lot for some time since. The groundbreaking for the mixed-use development is scheduled for November 10th.
The first is going to be 200 residential units. A good portion of those are going to be affordable units. It will also include 16,000 square feet of retail space and a public plaza.
Phase 2 will be a parking garage and some additional residential units. And then the third phase will be a medical building, which will include laboratory space. The mayor excited about that part because of New Haven's investment in biotech and life sciences. The project is part of the city's overall downtown crossing development.